So I'm here at Daytona Sandown Park and we're in the wet, and we're doing a sprint race in their Sodi karts. We've got a 10-minute qualifying to set a quick lap time, and then we've got a grid start and then a 20-minute race following it. So let's get on the track. So here we all are coming out the pit lane, and as we come onto this first lap of the qualifying, we're just going to start feeling out the conditions. So I'm going to have the lap timer in the top left, and my position in the race in the top right. But until we get to the race, it'll be my best and my current lap time on top of each other. So let me run you through a lap of this track. So the lap starts with the long straight that you've just seen before this right-hander. This is a very long right-hander and it's flat out for the entire thing before it gets into this right-hand hairpin, but it takes a while. You have to brake for this right-hand hairpin, and there's loads of understeer in this corner, and in general these karts are extremely understeery. That hairpin is now followed by a left-hander, which in the dry you only have to lift for, but in the wet is extremely trippy because there's a slight bank to the outside, which means the water flows down the hill. Down this next straight I'm going to overtake a couple slower karts, because I go on much better axing and more confident on the power. And then we have this left-hander following it, which is a bit awkward because there's a slight turn on the straight before it, so the braking point can be hard to locate. Then we've got this right-hander where there's some surface changes, which means it's extremely hard to judge when to turn in and brake for the corner. And this is a very long right-hander, but it opens up to a relatively long straight, so you have to get a good exit. Then we come to this right-hand hairpin, which is probably the most normal corner on the entire track. And then following that right-hander we have a left-hander, which you only have to lift for, but whilst the tyres are cold I have a bit of a wobble mid-corner. And then we come to this final corner, and a key point about this corner is that on the left of the exit, loads of puddles form because there's quite a dramatic slope towards that side of the track. And that's the lap of this track. On that lap I ended up with a 1 minute 17 second lap, which is quite slow, but it is the first lap of the race, so it's understandable. So now I'm going to go through this qualifying and skip to the highlights of each part and commentate them. So halfway through the second lap, already catching up to some more slower karts. And the kart right here, I'm quicker on the straight line, so I'm going to easily overtake before the next corner. And then we move on to lap 3 after I got 1:12.25 on that second lap, and I managed to catch up to this person in the blue suit, and let's overtake them. So coming around this right-hander I can see I have a lot more grip than them, and then this right-hander they leave the door wide open, so I go for a dive bomb. However, I might have lunged from a bit too far back, but I get the move done luckily. And we haven't seen anyone spin out so far this race, which is surprising considering the wet conditions, but then this person in the orange helmet in front of me spins out right here, showing how hard these wet conditions really are. And that's the third lap of qualifying finish, and I got 1:13.28. Lap 4 of the qualifying was very uneventful, however I made some mistakes through turn 4 and 5, which meant my lap time was ruined, so I only got a 1:13, even though I had a very empty lap. So as we're coming near the end of lap 5, I'm catching up to these slower cars, so I'm going to have to navigate and overtake them as we come onto lap 6. So when coming out of this right-hander I get much better exit than the person on the left, so I get an easy overtake on them. But because lap 5 was much cleaner than lap 4, I managed to get my best lap time of the session so far, which is a 1:12.14. And as we come into the second corner of lap 6, you can see I'm catching up to some more slower karts. And this kart ahead was actually going to be surprisingly hard to overtake. As I come around this right-hander, I think I might be able to get down the inside, but I don't. So coming into turn number 3, I purposely take a very outside line, preparing to do a cutback. However, as I have a snap on the exit of the corner, that means I don't overtake them, so I'm going to have to sit behind them for a bit longer. And then coming out to turn number 4, they exit wide, but I also have a snap of oversteer in this corner, so I'm stuck behind them a bit longer. But I have a much cleaner turn 5 than them, so I have a way better exit than them, so I get much more speed into the right-hander of turn 6. I purposely take an outside line going into turn 6, so this means in turn 7 they're the outside line for the beginning. However, they come across, so I have to go for a switchback instead of going around the outside, which shouldn't be too hard. And as I go into turn 6, I stay on the outside so that I can get a better exit than them, and I can zoom past them on the straight. But because of this slower kart I end up with a 1:14.19 for this lap. And then as I come to turn 2 for lap 7 I catch up with another slow kart, let's overtake them as well. So I've got a very similar position to the previous lap through this left-hander, so for some reason I decided the best idea would be to try the same move, and again I have a snap of oversteer because there's no grip on the inside of this left-hander. However, contrary to the last lap, the other driver goes to the inside, which means I can sit on the outside and execute a perfect switchback, which gets me ahead by the entry to turn 5. And then we come to the end of lap 7, which I get a 1:12.14 again, exactly matching my original best time. And as we come to the end of this lap, you can see I've caught up to another slower kart, so let's overtake them before the qualifying ends. So I tried to go around the outside of this right-hander, however it doesn't work out, and I tried to go for the switchback out of this right-hander. However, he stays on the inside of the track very tactically defending, which means I can't get past, and as you can see, the checkered plaid is about to be shown, which means the qualifying is over. And that lap 8 was nowhere near my best of 1:12.40. Now as I come to the grid, I come to realise I finished P4 in the qualifying, but this is going to be a very heated race, with some gaining and losing of positions. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to let you watch to see the entire race and its results. Enjoy. great race and we got P3 in the end, so thanks for watching.